Yo, 1112. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First, I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. It's amazing to see all these people have turned out for a free meal and a free glass of wine. Personally, I wish you'd all stayed at home to make my job a little less nerve-wracking. I'd like to start by saying what a fantastic day it's been so far. The service was lovely, the weather predictably Scottish, and now for this fantastic venue, giving Annie and Paul a perfect day. So bearing all this in mind, please do not ruin it by not laughing at my jokes. As for the bridesmaids, I would like to see how gorgeous you all look today. I'm just looking around to see which lucky single man is taking the maid of honour away tonight. And not to mention the bride, or should I say, the new Mrs. Agnew. Annie, you look stunning, and Paul is a very, very lucky man. Of course, Paul looks great as well. I think you'll all agree. I've always wondered what Phil Mitchell would look like in a kilt. I just want to say it's been a real honour to be standing here in front of you all today as best man to someone who has been such a good friend to me as Paul has. Am I doing well so far, Paul? See, I have to ask that as because Paul said if you've been a good speech here, then you'll be the best man at my next wedding. When I was asked by Paul to be his best man, I was initially worried about giving the speech, so it took me a while to prepare my first couple of lines, but then some gate snorted him in his jaw. I've known Paul for many years now, and I have said he's been a great friend over the years. Looking at him today, you wouldn't believe if I told you he was the bonniest of babies. In fact, he was the first child in Scotland to have a roll shutter door installed in his pram. I was once told that Paul's mum didn't get morning sickness till after he was born. I know a lot of people here are probably wondering, what the hell does Annie see in Paul? Well, I have known him for a long time, to be fair, and I don't know either. So let's talk about Annie and Paul and how they met. They grew up living virtually next door to each other. Although at that time, to be fair, they thought they would never be here sitting themselves together. Annie had dreams of marrying a rich man, living by the beach. Paul had dreams of becoming an Irish dancer and tapping his way to fame on the hardwood dance floor. I suppose speech with drive is a bit of a compromise. So although they grew up in the same scheme, by all accounts, they didn't even like each other. But fast forward 10 years and Annie gets her first bar job in Hamilton Palace, and Paul is the boss. I don't know much about the details from that point on, but knowing Paul, I'm guessing the tip jar was dipped and Annie was asked out on her first date with the proceeds. In any case, you can all guess, when two gingers hit it off, it was a fiery affair. They were like a couple of swan besters shooting across the sand. Sparks were flying. It was around the first time I met Paul. He never used to drink, until he discovered vodka, absinthe, Jaeger bombs, tops, lighter fluid. Now he freely admits to having a drink problem. 2 hands, 1 mouth. Since then we have had many a night we can't remember. I can remember one particular night we went out to a gig. I think there were 4 bands on from about 8 till midnight. He lasted 20 minutes and we were sent off in a taxi with Paul blazing. So we got back to my house and after about 20 minutes, Donna realised Paul was missing. I thought the two of them had jumped in the taxi and went home. And me and Donna and the wife went to bed.
You Donna and the wife?
Donna. Wife Donna. I was maybe wishing it was somebody else. Oh, just to video it.
Just to video it.
Nice shift, nice shift. I love on videos.
Just to video it.
About 2.5 minutes later, 4 hours later, I went to the toilet to freshen up, only to find Paul sitting on the pan, pants at his ankles, head in the sink. A sight to behold, I must say at least. And then we have Ibiza. Oh. Paul was there. Paul was there for 12 hours before he even knew where we were. The first time we actually realised we were in Ibiza, he had turned up at the hotel and there was 2 police throwing us out the hotel.
I thought Jerry was bad. He's worse.
One more of a Gemma story to say I need to bring up is that not a lot of people know this about Paul hidden talent. We were sitting at my house one night, looking a wee bit worried. He asked me if he could show me something, so he sits back, lifts up his t-shirt and exposes his chest. He closed his eyes and then started rubbing his nipples. Next thing you know, he begins to lactate. I had never seen anything like this in my life before. Naturally, my first reaction to this was that we could try and make some money off this by setting up a website for Paul and his milkiness. There's a lot of freaky people out there with a lot of freaky desires. Needless to say, that all failed. The only positive thing that came from this in Paul's talent was Lewis was the only baby in Britain to be breastfed by his father. I was actually looking on the web to see if anyone else could do it. Apparently it's a common phenomenon between men who have been confined to concentration camps and tortured. Annie, I don't even want to know what was on in your bedroom. I've been told that the best man speech should last as long as it takes the groom to make love. Sorry guys, I think I've went over by at least 5 minutes. So just before I climax, I'd like to finish up by saying what a great honour it has been to be Paul's best man today. I am glad he's finally admitted I am the better man. Can I just say, there is one person we all know is missing from this great occasion today. Big G. I've never met the woman before, but Paul, Annie, Lewis speak so highly of her. I'm sure she is watching here proudly today. So ladies and gentlemen, please immense pleasure, invite you all to stand and raise your glasses to a toast to Annie and Paul and wish them all the best for the future and really enjoy a long and happy marriage. Cheers.